Hi everyone, welcome to Kingdom Outpost 611, which is almost 611.
Oh my goodness.
That's really close. It's going to be 611 for the 20th time, which is wild to think about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we're coming to you guys with a different format today.
Are you recording the audio?
It records the audio.
Oh. How?
Through the microphone.
What?
Remember we checked it to check the sound.
I thought you were recording the audio on your iPad.
No, I'll just rip the audio off of this.
Oh, cool.
Instead of having to be like, I've got
I was listening
audio
to you,
and video
I was
and
panicking, thinking,
like
I don't
he's
think
not recorded the audio.
So, yeah.
So all that, normally we begin with a quote. And so now I will give you a quote because I really like this. So it's normally a very nostalgic intro, but I wanted you guys to understand what we were doing. Domestic happiness, thou only, you can't be looking at it. She was looking at it.
At the quote?
She was looking at the quote and reading it, which is, I got to hide my show notes now. This is what we have to do.
I saw everything you're going to say.
I know.
No, I
now
didn't.
it's all going to be.
I didn't see anything.
Okay. Because you don't know the quote. Because I don't tell you the quote.
Right.
So you can be blown away too.
Okay, I'm ready to be blown away.
Domestic happiness, thou only bliss of paradise that has survived the fall. Thou few, I messed it up. Thou, it's all the thous and those. Though few now taste thee unimpaired and pure, or tasting long enjoy thee too infirm or too incautious to preserve thy sweets unmixed with drops of bitter which neglect or temper sheds into thy crystal cup. Thou art the nurse of virtue. In thine arms she smiles, appearing, as in truth she is, heaven-born and destined to the skies again. William Cooper, The Task, Book 3, The Garden. Isn't that really good? I love that first line. Domestic happiness, thou only bliss of paradise that has survived the fall. Man, that's good.
That is good.
William Cooper, often called William Cowper.
Well, I was going to ask you that. I was like, I feel like I haven't heard of him. I've heard of William Cowper. Are they distant cousins?
Yep. One is Cowper and one is Cooper.
Same guy?
Yeah. I don't know why Cowper is pronounced Cooper. And I guess I don't even really know that it is. But I've just always been told it's not Cowper, it's Cooper.
Yeah. Huh.
Maybe someone's like, no, it's Cowper. And I'll be like, okay.
You can let us know.
Yeah, it's fine to me if I said it wrong. It's fine.
So, what do you think about this?
I like this. I mean, we got the man in the moon here. You should have seen, like, this is the way we do anything.
This is how we do it.
This is the way she does it, which is the way we do it. Because if we did it my way, we would just never do it.
True.
Because I'm a perfectionator.
Yes.
Which, procrastination by perfectionism.
Yeah.
I was already like, but the audio, we're going to need this, we're going to need that. We've got a camera, I need this type of memory card, we need this interface, we need lighting, I got all this. And she's like, let's just do it in my room. And I was like,
now.
Okay. Let's do it right now.
We decided this morning, because we had tens of people asking us to do a recording, like a video.
Oh, I was thinking you were just talking about our children.
Meaning...
We have tens of people. I was like, we have tens of people all the time.
No, meaning one
Literally
person.
all the time, tens of people going, can you?
No, one person asked us, Manoa.
Tens. Yeah.
So, this
tens
is for you,
of
Manoa.
person.
And we really typically do learn by doing. I think it's the best way.
Yes.
So we just do
it. We
as
in you and I, or we as in one?
Well, I guess both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. Both are true.
But that's typical of our, like, the school. You just started a school.
Yeah.
And as you're doing it as you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So. What is like, was it Geronimo Amen?
Yeah.
Just like,
so that's
here
what we're
doing
today. We don't have
Jumping
any equipment.
in feet first and we'll figure it out. Because we didn't start the school for a while. And I still am, like, because I am constantly trying to do, which you should do. There are things, and that's the reason we haven't opened the school. That's why it's still closed, because I'm getting it. It's like,
there.
You're still not invited, okay? If you're like, what is the school? There is no school.
There's no school. Yeah, so I was looking at the flashing lights. This is my classroom for my homeschool.
And this is how we hypnotize the children.
I was wondering if we needed...
This is called the indoctrination man. And they look at it, and we have the quote thing, "On the chief end of man has to glorify God."
Yeah. I was wondering if we needed to do a strobe light warning. You know how, like, what's it called? It's on, like, the warnings. Have, like, this might, I hope it's not hurting anybody.
And if anybody has epilepsy,
please step
hopefully
away.
You've already turned this off. Some of you might have already turned it off anyway. Yeah, so let's get, this is what we do. This is our normal setup. Our normal setup is actually us in the living room or us in the van.
Yeah, normally
this is the most
van.
Formal setup we've done.
Ever.
Which is us in chairs next to each other.
Right. So let's welcome everyone into our living room.
Yeah, welcome.
Come on.
Come in.
Inside.
I've got a little something for you. Here, let me pour the coffee.
That's our percolator. Our pretend percolator, which I wish I had right now.
Man, I could use a cup of coffee.
We wanted to swing in and grab a cup of coffee from the coffee shop, but we really don't have time. So
yeah.
Look at us suffering.
Yeah. Kanoki almost got a free endorsement. But they just did.
Next time.
No, they just did. I just name dropped them.
Oh, well.
That's right. Their sales have probably skyrocketed.
Totally.
As we've at least recognized by one person.
Yes.
Yeah. So where do you want to begin? Let's begin in the living room. We pour coffee. That's our cue that it's time to go to the living room and sit down and talk about what we've learned.
Mm-hmm. So the last time I think we podcasted, you were about to go to Africa, and our theme was this train ain't stopping. We had a lot of fun.
And our train didn't stop, including the podcast, because we would have had to stop the podcast, and so that's been a good month. You know, it's been a month.
Almost 2 months.
It's been a month since I went to Tanzania. It's been almost a month since I've been back.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got back like the...
Yeah, we had our son turn 18, and then a couple weeks in, he and Chris hopped on a plane with two other great men and went to Africa to continue the work that Chris has been a part of.
For a decade. It's been a decade that we've been doing work with these guys in Africa.
Yeah, it was so cool that our oldest got to go with him, because the first trip he went on
is 2015.
Okay, so he and my dad both went on that trip. So my mom and I had all the kids out at her house, and it was a 3-week trip. And our oldest was really close to Chris, and he sat on the back porch and drew a big heart with sidewalk chalk and sat in it. And he said, I'm not getting out of this heart till Papa comes back home.
Yeah.
He did eventually.
He did get out.
Get out to eat.
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom.
He turned feral though before I got back.
It's so sweet. But now he's like boarding an airplane with you.
Yeah.
Just coming back like.
And talking to the churches in Tanzania, like in Rome, man, they didn't make him sit with the little kids.
Yeah.
He sat with the other pastors and
so great. So great for him and for our other kids to see like Big Brother going out into the world like that was,
and to get to see again just a place that unless he goes on another mission trip, he's just never gonna
and has heard about for so many years of his life, seen the slideshows
and seen the guys there. The guys there are great.
Yeah,
get to meet them, and so it was a fun time.
So how was
it? Was good. So it's it's been 10 years, but it's been a year and a half that we've been doing now this Bible school, that has a set curriculum and a graduation time. And so that's been, this was interesting. We were on the 4th sort of class, weeks long class. It's normally about 2 weeks. We go Monday through Saturday.
It's intensive.
Yeah, 8 to 5, Monday through
8
Saturday.
To 5.
Yeah,
that's a lot of teaching.
But those guys, they're there. They listen. They take notes.
These are all pastors.
They're all pastors or pastors in training. All men that have been picked by some of the pastors that we trust. These are guys who have proven themselves. We're not wasting any of our time on guys that are going to be, just fluff or not stick it out or whatever.
Just wanting to come hang out.
Or just wanting to get a certificate from a place that it's like, I wish we hadn't given them a certificate because they're using our name and they're not representing Christ very well. So it was a very select group. We had it at 15. That's what we cut it off at. We're at 14. One of them sadly passed away,
Oh.
and so, but the others are there, and they'll be finishing it out in the next year and a half. They'll have it done.
Graduate then?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, they'll have pretty intensive seminary education, just the basics. This time we went and we taught. So far we've taught like basic Bible hermeneutics, which is like how to read the Bible. And then we did Old Testament survey, New Testament survey. And this time my brother Jerry and I went, my brother-in-law Jerry, and we did biblical preaching and pastoring. So like how to deliver expository sermons that come from the text, exegetical sermons. We told them the benefits of expository verse by verse preaching through the Bible. And we, talked about that, talked about how to pastor, some pretty specific things. It's really hard to there are some things that translate really well culture to culture. And luckily, having known them for 10 years, I know a lot of the things that they deal with that are just totally different from what we deal with here. So we're able to talk about that. And that's during the how to pastor time was the bigger part of where we answered a lot of questions. What do I do with this? Or, what about this situation? Because there are things we wouldn't even think of. So even the materials that we used, we shucked a lot of that material because it's very America based. Yeah. Or we took principles from, okay, this issue would look like this in America, but it's probably going to look like this in Tanzania.
So some of them probably are already pastoring.
Oh,
they
have
questions like, how do I fix
so a lot of they're all pastoring, or are pastors in training. And there might be two of them, but those pastors in training are ministering, like they're working and doing things. So in terms of they've already been given tasks and things they have to do, and they've been in on conversations with pastors with others, so they know things, and since they're mature believers, people come to them with questions and stuff like that.
That's so great. I really enjoyed how just thrilled you were, because the last day they all delivered a sermon, right?
Yeah.
So you got to see them put into practice the things they've learned.
Yeah, it was a tenuous situation because in Africa there are two things you're going to see on TV: soccer, and then health and wealth, gospel, prosperity preaching, probably at soccer fields, big stadiums. So, a lot of that they see, and a lot of the popular stuff in Tanzania is very health and wealth gospel. You put a text out there from the Bible, but then just run all over the place and say catchy things, or even just prophesy, So you didn't know really, because we're really setting the foundation for expository preaching. There's not a lot of expository preaching in Tanzania. Like, these guys had never heard of expository preaching. And so they knew about exegeting from the text rather than eisegeting into the text. They knew about that because we talked about that with hermeneutics and stuff like that. But what we did was the last day of class, after all this, we had just a solid preaching day. Like, they preached from the beginning of class to end of class. And they were each we gave them the book of James, and we broke the book of James up into 14 sections, 14 pericopes, or verse groups that eventually ran the whole gamut of the book. Our idea was, what we told them to do, create an outline, notes, and a sermon from your passage. And they all did that. And then when they were done, they all turned their notes in, their outline in, and then we copied those, stapled them together, and passed them out so that they all had essentially sermons for the entire book of James. We were like, now you can go and do what you've learned through the book of James. Begin walking your people through the book of James, and here's your resources to do it. You even heard sermons on it, and their sermons were so good. They were, from the text. The only critique we had of all, and again, you're talking 14 guys, and they did really well. The only critique we had was sometimes they would preach from the cross references rather than the text. So they have a text, and then they get to a cross reference, and they preach a lot about the cross reference, but not really but that was it. And so they had outlines, they had all those cross references, they had all those notes. And so, it was it was so great. I messaged Ralph right away. Ralph is the missionary that was there for 30 years that was our connection with Tanzania.
He's a member of our church now.
So he's back here. He was actually preaching for me when I was in Tanzania, and I messaged him that day because he's like their spiritual father. I mean, in the very Pauline sense of they're believers because of him. Some of them are so even if they're not, they've seen him as a, if Paul had planted, Ralph was the one who watered, sort of thing. So they all view him that way, and so I messaged him, and he was very excited. He's really glad to hear that. So.
And what you said about, like, they had never heard of expository preaching, I think is what you have told our church. The reason you're going is you're trying to get these guys ahead in ways that probably would have taken a long time.
Yeah.
Just in the natural growth of the church. You're trying to, what's the word? Accelerate that. And so that's just really cool to see. Because it's easy to, like, if we went on a mission trip that we didn't love how it was done, and you hear a lot of talk about things like that with mission trips, it's easy to be like, all of it's bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But there are good ways to take a couple of weeks and go help a church or a group of churches, just give them some things that will...
Yeah. So that's if you'd like to hear the sermon, it's called, we've got it on our YouTube, our FBC Begs YouTube, and in our FBC Begs podcast. It's called Why Help Other Churches. But that's, what we talk about, and that's like, why are we helping in Tanzania?
Yeah.
When we've got all these things we'd like to do here in Kant and stuff like that, and spending a significant portion of our money for a local church to do that. And that's what it was. We had the chance to give them a generational leap, sometimes 2 or 3 generations, that they would have gotten there. Like, these men would have progressed to a certain degree just through their own Bible reading and growth from the Spirit. And they would have taught the next generation some things and eventually, we're sitting in America, we've got 200 years of this stuff that has been seeded into us and into our culture, and we're kind of reaping that. And so then we're taking what we've reaped and we're sowing it into another field. It'd be easy to sow it back into our field, and hopefully we are. But we're sowing it into another field, and God is giving us a harvest, and a harvest of righteousness in our field.
Yeah.
And that's what I told the church is that, the great thing about working with God is you take your seed and sow it in another field, and yet God is able to bring a harvest in both fields. Yeah. So you don't even sow in your field, you sow in someone else's field, and he brings the harvest. That's 2 Corinthians 8 and 9. So yeah, it's a chance to to boost the churches in Africa, by 20, 40 years.
And it doesn't take much from you.
Not comparatively.
No.
Not comparatively.
Right. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A little
and
bit
so
of
I think one of the things that does frustrate people about mission trips, or what can happen, is just like in all of life, we have a very short-term goal orientation. So we're going, all right, we did this. What's the results?
Right. So we want to go and
and we want to see it. What did we build? What did we do? Here's a picture of what we built, or here's how many people got saved. Look, it was a success.
Yeah.
And for us, the success is going to be a long time in the making and a long time in the coming. We're not necessarily going to see all of it, and we don't expect to.
Yeah.
We expect just to give these guys a boost to where their preaching is standing on our shoulders, rather than having to stand on, their grandkids standing on what would be their shoulders.
Right.
So.
I do want to point out the shirt that I heard from the guys who went on the trip with him. This was parading around the Qatar. What do you Qatar Airport. Just out there.
Yeah, you got to crusade. You gotta be a crusader wherever you're at. So it got a few turned heads from the people that could read English. It is a Muslim country.
When I'm he's
95% Muslim.
When he's out among a Muslim country, I just want him to lay low. Don't hide your light under a bushel.
I lit my bushel on fire.
Yeah, he's like holding a big torch with his flaming red hair and his red shirt.
This is essentially my Crusader's cross. And it was funny. Kyle was like, you were walking through. You looked like a crusader that had just conquered their country, and just with that
And then I was so relieved he made it. Like, they were settled. And then I found out, I was like, they got on the plane to come home, and I said, I bet he's wearing that shirt again. Sure enough, yes, he did.
Yes. Why would I not?
Yeah, why would you not? I'm proud of you. You're a better man than I am.
Yeah, I need to realize what's up.
So,
yeah,
that's great. Well, the thing that I really gleaned while you were gone in Africa was that...
You really gleaned the house.
No, I didn't. I left our house.
You did leave our house.
I left our house. I fled to the country as ever.
Yes.
Within minutes of his departure, me and the kids are...
I hadn't even left yet. I was like loading up, putting like my suit, and I was like, so what I'm going to do? And I was like, Leslie, and I see like her like pulling out.
That's
and I'm
not
like,
true.
well,
not true.
Goodbye me.
But the thing that I gleaned was the wonder of ChatGPT was my husband while you were gone.
ChatGPT answered all your questions?
Yeah, like my son was really trying to convince me to use it, and I had already been using it before Chris left, but...
We'll get into a discussion about the ghost in the machine later.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But it did help me fix my parents' refrigerator, and that was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That did.
I felt like so cool and
I think
smart.
Her parents' refrigerator sounded like a helicopter taking off out of Saigon.
It was bad. Like, it was
She was like, what do you think's wrong with my parents' refrigerator? And she like puts up, is like...
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. Are the Viet Cong about to enter the building?
It was
like
causing
what?
us all stress just because it was in the background, and you knew
Constantly.
You knew it was
not like a
going.
white noise in the
No.
background, like
And
a grating noise.
It gave the feeling of pending doom because you knew like this is.
It was going to quit at some point. At some point, it would quit making the noise, and you'd be afraid that meant it had just quit.
Yeah. So
you didn't want the noise, but at the same time, you're afraid for the noise to stop.
It was very.
It's like it's
stressful.
You know what that's like? It's like children.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're so loud. Then you're like, why do I not hear my children?
Yeah, which is when B came in last night covered in chocolate. I had noticed.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear her.
Like all on her face.
I think she found the
And then I said,
magic
and
shell.
she said, Leslie said, how are your hands? And she went, and there's chocolate. She just threw them up there. She knew what was going on. She was like, take a look.
She basically was coming in to be like, guys, I need something to watch me. Yeah. Anyhow, I fixed the refrigerator.
Yeah, your ChatGPT game was
like a handyman.
Is off the charts now.
Yeah, I felt really accomplished and proud of
But
myself.
you're still very feminine in your ChatGPT usage.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, look at this cute picture I made in ChatGPT.
Yeah, you can also. I don't know if everyone knows this.
Just so you know, if you do this, I do not advise uploading pictures of you or your family to ChatGPT.
Oh, should I
because
not do that?
There's a database of all those things. If you want to, go to create a private Discord server and do Midjourney. Is what I would do. It's a little bit yet less useful than ChatGPT, but at least you can be on a private server. Not that it's not
too late.
You know, Discord's still doing the same thing. I mean, just be careful. Know that those pictures are out there. They're out there.
But if we don't do it, we'll never see what we look like as Beatrix Potter characters.
That's true. There is a give and a take because your pictures are also just out there because there's cameras everywhere.
That's true. So, yeah, you can upload a picture of your family and tell it to turn you into a Beatrix Potter illustration, or Tasha Tudor, or Robert McCloskey. I've done all of them, and it's really cute.
Yeah.
Except our family's really a little big.
Yeah, there's too many people. It's like even the computers are like, this is too many.
You have too many kids.
Because it's like, if we do all 7 kids, it'll be like 5 of them are really good.
Well, 5 are bunnies because it's Beatrix
and then
Potter.
It's like 2
and
more,
one
and it's
has
like
a human face, and it's so creepy.
It does. That's where I get. You get into the Ghost in the Machine. And it's just like there's some sort of wicked spirit that's like, yeah, and it just gets because when it's off, it's like off, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get me on this creepypasta sort of talk, but
you
can if you want to. If you want to, we'll create a separate YouTube channel where I go off, which happened on Wednesday. We were doing our Wednesday night Bible study is just a tour through the Bible. It's like Bible 101. We've started out just like, just giving basic, like even where does the word Bible come from? Why do we call this book the Bible? What is the Old Testament? What is the New Testament? All this. So we're laying this out, which is funny. Even some very mature believers had no idea. Like, I asked, why do we ask them? And they're like, I've actually never thought about
I think you should.
why it's called Bible.
We'll talk about it.
But anyway, so one of them asked, hey, I was watching a thing on the Ark of the Covenant, and, they had said this and that down in Ethiopia, and, what do you think about that? And, like, Rebecca and other family, and other people from Wednesday, they, like, looked at me like, because I was like, all right. I didn't go into it. I was like, we talked about this before, and it was like an hour-long talk.
Yeah,
so we can't do this right now at the end of Bible study.
Right.
But I do have the receipts if you would like to know more.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
A whole different podcast.
But, yeah. Or if you do want to see what your family would look like as claymation characters, you could.
You do not. Tell you that right now.
It is so creepy.
You do not. No, you don't. You will not look at your children this way. It's all the things that your mind imagines when your child comes in the middle of the night to wake you up, and they're right there like that.
And you can even make it scarier. Like the one it gives you, you can say, make it a little scarier. And anyhow.
And then you can say even scarier. And then you can say, give me all the scary. And it does.
You don't want to look at that.
No. Like opens a portal into the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
So hopefully we've convinced you to do that.
Yeah. Just do it. It's fine. Nothing to worry about.
And then we got back, and as we tend to do when I get back from Africa, I got back from Africa on Thursday. The next day was Good Friday.
Yes.
Did Good Friday service. Then we had Holy Saturday.
We did a big Good Friday party.
Yep. Then we had a Holy Saturday. So we talked about Jesus descending to the grave.
And you went to a birthday party.
And went to a birthday party. Yeah. And then Sunday was Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
And then after Easter Sunday service, kind of got everything settled, and we loaded up in the van and drove as a family to North Carolina.
I just passed out.
You just knocked the camera over. No.
I was like, oh no.
It did wobble. I was like, oh man, she really sold that. Yeah, we drove, what was it, 14 and a half hours?
Well, the
something
first
like
night
that.
we drove.
But I mean, it was a 14-hour or 15-hour drive. Mm-hmm. We broke it up into two sections. Of course, if we'd have driven it, it'd taken us 17 hours.
Our plan had been to go on Monday to drive the whole way, and I'm so glad you gave ear to my thought that I think we need to break it up. And that was, can you imagine?
Yeah.
If we'd driven the whole
way. This
way.
is my idea. Dante talks about different levels of hell. But it's all hell. So yes, I could have gone to the sixth circle, and done it all in once. But it was bad.
Do specify. He means the driving for him. He doesn't like to drive.
I hate driving. And I'm the only one who drives.
Being with the family in the van, that's all good and fun. But the driving.
Oh, yeah. I just hate driving.
Is the hellish part.
If we could Uber the whole thing, I'd be happy as a clam.
Yeah.
Which is funny. Clams are actually one of the most depressed shellfish.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
How do you know?
They're just they're all on SSRIs.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Are they really
is it SRIs or
depressed?
SSRIs? Is it SRIs? I can't remember.
Are they really?
They're all on antidepressants.
Are they really sad? Or are you making that up?
I made that up.
I don't want to tell it to someone else. Anyway.
It's hard to find out how they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they clam up.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Oh,
anyway.
man. So, yeah, we split the trip up and went to Memphis the first night. Does anyone out there know how many people you can fit into one Drury Inn room?
Because I'll tell you, it's at least 9. 10. It's at least 10.
Yeah. Don't tell Drury Inn, but yeah.
Yeah. Because you're only supposed to have 6.
I don't know. It's a big room. It has like a couch.
We got them in there.
We were making beds up out of thin air. Making little beds out of like little tiny ottomans and
we did it, and sofa cushions.
Sofa cushions.
Yeah. Because it was like, we bought one of the suites. So it was like a double queen and then a fold out couch.
Yeah.
Well, then you can take the cushions off the couch and make more beds.
The thing is, when we booked this room, we were thinking about, we do this. This is what we do. Well, the last time we went on a road trip was 2019, and we had 5 kids. So not only have we added 2 children, we have added much girth.
Yes.
Much girth. And so...
Now, we've dropped girth. But
maybe
they...
this much.
Oh, what?
Maybe this...
No.
Well,
show them your muscles.
No.
Show them your muscles.
No. So somewhere nearing Memphis, it started to dawn on me, like, wait, this room I got worked for us in 2019.
Somewhere where?
Close to Memphis.
Really? So we're almost there?
And I didn't say anything because I was going to
like,
tell you.
This may not work.
I was slightly panicking and thinking, oh my goodness, my brilliant idea, because it's a good money saver, is really stupid. Where am I going to put all these people? But
it worked.
We worked it out.
And then we knew that it worked, so we were able to do it again on the way back home. Like, it works. It works.
Yeah.
Because it's better than paying for 2 rooms.
So where were we going in North Carolina?
Oh, we're going to Asheville, just outside Asheville, to Ridgecrest Conference Center for the Church and Family Life Conference. And the reason we went to that is because some friends of ours, members of our church, go and they love it. They've gone for like the last...
I love it.
Decade?
And she had told me, like, they'll give their kids options, like, would you like to go on a vacation here? And they always choose this conference. And now
Yes, so we went to the Church and Family, and guys, it is so good. Now, it's in May next year. Mm-hmm. It's later in May, I think, like mid-May?
Not
mid-May? Like
I think
the
it's
15th?
on the early end of May.
That's right, it's like the 9th.
Yeah.
I think it starts the
early end. The early
8th or 9th. The end of the early.
Front
end. This is like when you're like, anyway. So go check it out. Mm-hmm. Sign up. You're not going to regret, especially if you live anywhere close to Asheville, North Carolina.
It would be really nice if you, totally.
It's a great families, great subjects. Joel Beakey was there this year. Next year, they're going to have Tom Askell. Michael Foster, I think, is going to maybe be
who's on
there.
The thing, yeah.
Just really good information for families about raising intentional. There was a section on business, like they had how to start your own family business and how to turn your home into like a money-making kingdom advance. And I was like,
we're like, hello.
Yes, hallelujah. I had a tambourine. I was like, we do that, except none of our things make money.
Not yet. We have many streams, but it's not happening yet. But it will.
They're all passive streams. They're not passive streams. They're active streams. They just don't make any. That's the passive part. Is the monetization. But it's sure good.
Yeah, they had like finding a wife.
Yeah, they had a singles night. They had a singles conference the night before.
By the way, our kids are old enough to go to singles night.
Yeah.
Again,
so again, singles night wasn't like a speed dating night or anything like that. No. It was what it was is the parents went and they selected daughters to give to men. No, that's what people think when they, here's this young boy. I know his father. No, it was just a night where they talked about how to think about the next stages. It wasn't a singles like that. Now they did have like an ice cream social or something like that where people could stay around and meet other people. Yeah. But that was
You know what it felt like to me? It was like all the fun of the church camps we grew up going to, but with parental oversight.
Yeah, the parents are there.
At night you go to the room with your parents.
The kids like the parents, they're not trying to get away.
The parents like the kids.
Parents like the kids.
And
it is, and they do. It's a family integrated model. They recommend, it's family integrated, just like they think church should be. You're going to get a lot of family integration stuff. They're going to be encouragements to do that.
Yes.
At the church and scriptural encouragements to do that.
The proof is in the building. Children everywhere during multiple teaching situations.
Yes.
I have like 50 pictures of different children of ours just like sprawled out sleeping, taking 8 p.m. naps. It was
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. 8 p.m. naps.
They're just like, oh, we're here again. Good night.
Yeah, this has been great. See you.
One time, Peter, we were walking to the conference center, and he said, "Church again."
Yeah.
Because it is like, 3 days of going to really good teaching.
Really good teaching.
What I really
including there's one time that has breakout sessions.
Yeah.
So it's not just a there were
yeah,
golly, maybe 12 different things to choose from.
And I chose to stay at the room.
Which
and
is
let our little
which
sleep.
are totally fine. Like no one's they set it up so that you don't have to go to everything, and you can go and because they don't want to make it like this big horrible task.
But like your big kids are gonna want to.
They're gonna want to go. They're gonna want to
go,
and they're gonna want to.
And what I really loved is it. There are a ton of big families there. Peter also noticed there's so many white vans like ours here. Like he'd see a white church van and be like, another white van? This is so weird. But big families, but they really heavily emphasized the local church. Because they probably have seen that's an easy ditch to fall into. That people who do heavily invest in their children, it would be easy
you want one of your investments to be a good church.
Yeah.
It's very easy to see where the church you're going to, the failures that it has,
Yeah.
and eventually result in we're not going to go anywhere. Because we can't find anywhere.
Yeah, and to be teaching so well at home and to fall out of the habit of...
And almost being like, well, the father's kind of like a family shepherd, so that's like a family pastor, so we're almost like a family church. It's just a really easy stream to get down.
So I feel like at every turn they were encouraging.
Yeah, they were like, you need to be involved in your church.
Not just attending, but serving.
Yeah.
Being like
and loving
active.
that your church exists, like even with all its imperfections.
Yeah.
Like as long as they're not gospel level imperfections, then maybe you're part of the way that they're going to grow in that area. Yeah. So instead of looking at your church and being like, oh, they're lacking this thing that I see, let your wisdom be the thing that helps grow that.
Yeah.
Maybe not immediately. Yeah. Like, right? Don't walk in and be like, I know this is true. Pastors start doing this, church start doing this. Because look, I can tell you as a pastor, that's not what we do. Like we learn things and we have ideas of how the church should grow. And we if we're good pastors, very patiently grow these things in individuals and in the church. And that's the same thing has to happen from the church member side. Just like you wouldn't want a pastor who learned something, on a Thursday at his Bible reading or at a conference and came back the next week and was like, you're all doing this. Yeah. And if you think something, you don't want to come back and say, hey, all of you should be doing this. And if you're not, I'm out. Just like if the pastor said, you should be doing this. And if you're not, you're out.
Yeah.
Or I'm God. Same thing.
Yeah.
It's just very, do unto others.
Yeah. So I really liked that because it did church and family life. It really emphasized family, but also really emphasized the church.
Yeah. He's got some really good books. The guy who leads it, who founded it, his name's Scott Brown. Really got some really good books out there. He had good books. Kevin Swanson had good books. Joel Beakey with was it Heritage? I can't remember the publishing company. I always get that mixed up. Reformation Heritage. Who knows? They had some good books. It was so good. G3 was there. They had good books. So anyway, just a bunch of Lamplighter. Leslie found out about that. She broke us. She broke us at the Lamplighter.
I just love how they look. They're so pretty.
Yeah.
So anyway, one thing that I just jotted down that I really took away, and I think I take away every time we go somewhere with our kids, is it's just a gift. It's not like something you have to go on trips, because sometimes you just can't afford it.
A mother-in-law.
Heaven knows
no.
that we don't take a lot of trips. But when we do, and we kind of step outside of our everyday routine, like thinking about meals and keeping the house clean and even church, like this thing we're always trying to accomplish, to step outside, it's like it frees you up to just like look at your people. And what I kept being struck by is I am so proud of these kids and I love them so much. like seeing them at a hotel, just this throng of core kids walking down a hallway, and from 18 to 2, and it's just a beautiful thing. And I was just thinking about how it really is a time to see the fruit of your work, because like how pleasant they are in a car for hours and hours, that doesn't come from nowhere.
Yeah.
And the ability for them to like sit through hours and hours of a conference and not embarrass you and not that comes from somewhere. It's been years of planting and tending, and to just get to enjoy, like, look at what God has done.
Yeah.
Like, these kids are fun. They're funny. They make me proud. It's a pleasure to be shut into a little van with them or in a little room or wherever we go. So I just drank it in, really.
Yeah.
Especially with our oldest being 18 now. It's like you just see that it's not going to be forever that all 7 are walking down a hotel room or hotel hallway. So
yeah, it was really fun. It was really neat to see that, and it is a, like Proverbs is going to say, it is a glory to parents to have that. So it was right for us to glory in it. The Lord wants us to look at it and go, man, God, you are so good. So
okay, well, we probably need to move to another room.
Yeah,
we've been in the living room for a long time.
Just kidding. Wouldn't it be funny if we moved rooms every time? Which room do you want to go to, Leslie?
Well, I have a kitchen.
You want to go to the kitchen?
I mean, it's a little thing.
Okay.
Let's go to the kitchen.
Let's go to the kitchen, everybody.
We're here.
Hi. Welcome to the kitchen.
Okay.
Is the stove on?
I hope not.
I feel like it's
because I'm
on.
not making anything.
Which leads so it's just like our normal kitchen.
Leads me right to my next point. So
I'm not making anything. Which leads to my next point.
Jumping.
Do nothing.
Off of what?
And be happy with it.
We were just talking about. Yeah. One thing I really, we're always
You're going to have to carry the kitchen. I have nothing in my kitchen.
Okay, that's fine. You probably shouldn't.
I actually have some stuff.
Oh, okay.
Some recipes, I think that like.
Right. We're always trying to like make as much from scratch as we can, trying to cut out processed foods, all that stuff. But it reminded me on our trip, there are times it's just really good to like lean on some Cheerios.
Get you some seed oils.
Just to help you through. Help a mother out. So when we got back from our trip.
Lean on Cheerios. Every once in a while. Speaking of nothing in the kitchen, every once in a while, just lean on some Cheerios, I'm hungry, Mom. Yeah, give them some Cheerios. Give them Cheerios. They'll shut them up.
Crunch Cheerios are so good.
Okay, was that the special? Everyone was talking about the special Cheerios.
Yeah, those are the special Cheerios.
I have not eaten cereal in a decade.
Good luck getting
Because
some.
do you know what's in cereal?
Oh.
No, really, it's gone.
You don't eat breakfast, for one.
That is also a thing.
But yeah, you could, good luck getting a bowl of cereal with our kids around. Yeah. It's like it just vanishes.
If you get the cereal out,
even if they just ate dinner, they're like, Crunch Cheerios?
And Gideon's going to have 3 bowls of cereal. And then leave them upstairs.
And then we'll find it.
Yeah.
So, getting back from our trip, totally exhausted. So much laundry. And to stress out in that moment about not being able to make like homemade biscuits or whatever. Just ship yourself some Cheerios and say thank you, God, for these, because it is such a blessing. And on the trip too, we would go get breakfast at the grocery store.
Yeah, there's a grocery store like 3 miles from this conference center.
Ingles.
Yeah, there's store. A little, so it's right outside the town of
Black Mountain.
Which
was so cute.
Yeah.
Cute
super town. Liberal.
Yeah.
It's like, that place was like Colorado of the East. Anyway.
Yeah.
But you could go down there and cute little easy grocery store with some ready-made items, which is really good.
Yeah.
The Chinese food is really good. And then quick pickups.
So what I was going to point out about that, like you're leaning on a grocery store to make your breakfast. And I just really realized you could use the grocery store bakery. Like, instead of getting like Little Debbie muffins that never mold, they never mold. They don't. Grocery store bakery food does mold. Ask me how I know.
Sometimes before you buy it.
So, I mean, if you don't want to get Cheerios, at least get some muffins from the grocery store bakery. So, anyway.
I think the Ingles ones that they liked, was it the pistachio?
Yeah.
You liked them too?
I did.
So the one that invited us was like, you gotta try these pistachio
Yeah, I really
muffins
liked
from-
them.
And they liked them. I did not eat them.
Yeah.
Because again, I don't eat breakfast.
So, that's just one step.
Mhm.
That's one step cleaner than buying totally processed food in a box at the grocery store.
Yes.
Just buy food that will mold. It's already made, but
Yeah.
it
And
won't go
that is a slogan that should be out there. Buy food that will mold.
Yeah.
You know,
So you don't have to like go from box stuff to totally
like if you're
I'm
eating
bringing
something
my-
that is the only thing that seems to have avoided the fall,
yeah,
you know, the only thing that death cannot
Which
touch,
Cheerios-
that's probably means it was made by
don't
the
mold.
devil. Probably means it was made by the devil.
or ChatGPT probably makes Cheerios.
Now you're being redundant.
Okay, move on. Next room.
Next room,
That's
where are we
all
going
I
to
had.
next? That's all in the kitchen?
Mhm.
We haven't been in the kitchen very much.
The only other thing I have is
The
The
nursery?
nursery. And-
You want to go there?
I don't
mean-
know.
We're almost out of time.
But it does pertain to a road trip. So
Okay, let's go to the nursery then. You guys ready?
that might as well be
Oh,
one of our kids.
That is Leslie's laugh
Aw.
recorded
It's not my
for
laugh.
all of you.
Okay. You want to hear
I don't
some
know
road
what's
trip tips?
I've got like for show notes in the nursery, I've got like 8 things. So I don't know
Well, I
which
don't
one of
want
these
to
is the thing.
take over.
No, I think some of these are yours from
Okay.
previous show notes that we just never got to.
First of all, I think you'll have a lot to say.
Should I
about
close
this.
my eyes?
Yeah, this was hold on. This was the best thing ever. Okay, open your
One
eyes.
thing you're going to learn about me is I never cheat. I never cheat at games. I never cheat at peeking. I am like I might lie a lot, like to mess
you
with
don't.
people. I mean, to
Oh,
mess with people,
okay.
you know, like
His eyes are still
tricking
closed.
them. Yeah, okay. But
Mm-hmm.
I never cheat.
No, he doesn't
Never.
cheat.
I got to open them now, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this little.
Now I will put an asterisk by this, but
go
I'm
ahead.
with you.
Go ahead. Well, okay.
No, do your thing, and then I'll.
I
put the
mentioned this to Chris leading up to our trip that I had been thinking, and packing is so hard. We had to fit the stuff for 10 people in our van with us, and there's not a ton of room in the back. So I was like, I think what I need to do is buy plastic tubs for our luggage. And so I bought these tubs in like 3 different sizes. The big ones for all of our clothes, and then I got like these longer or deeper, taller ones for like that we could pull out for the hotel stops on the way, so we didn't have to take everything in. And then I had another one for the next hotel stop.
This is really wise.
Oh, I almost died, honestly, like leading up to the trip.
Oh.
Because the neuron.
Oh yeah.
I spent basically when you were in Africa, I fixed my parents' refrigerator and I packed for 2 weeks. And then this side,
Show them the brand because
it's hefty.
this was.
I really like these. Can you see it or is it fuzzy?
It's gonna be fine. You're doing
Is it
this
focused?
right there.
Oh, I tapped on this instead.
You're just sit back. Quit. Now you're messing it up. You quit.
What were you gonna say?
What? I said, just these are really good and they're sturdy. They're thick. See, one of the things that
they're sturdy.
happens a lot of times, especially if you're stacking stuff or if you're loading a lot of stuff and things, the plastic will kind of bend and you might break the handle or something like these things, and they stack
And they're-
really securely
they're stackable.
because the top has a small indentation, so it sits in.
Yes.
So it's not shifting.
And this little
Really good.
section
She did really well.
gave you so much more packing space because
Yeah.
you reach the top.
It allows you to put this on here, You can't see it.
It says
right there.
hefty.
Store extra stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's got the little raised top.
It really helped because I'd be like, I would reach the top in my packing.
Which is, I'll tell you about Leslie, is what she does.
Oh, yeah.
To every container.
Oh, yeah.
The container will go to here. Every time she packs it, she's packing it to here. It's always like got a mound over the top.
Sides down and clasp them.
Oh, if she puts a top on it.
And then they break. Yeah. Then I tape them. And say, will you put this in the attic?
Yeah. And so you can't stack on top of it or anything. Yeah. And
But these were super stackable. So we did 4 big ones.
The ability to pull out for the hotel stay. Just one. This is our hotel stay.
For one night.
Yeah. That was.
And like this size, I put all the swimsuits in. Mm-hmm. And then I did another one of these of just our jackets. What I loved is it kept all the loose leaf, like all the jackets from floating around.
Loose leaf jackets are the worst. I always prefer bound jackets. Spiral bound jackets.
Yeah. And so I had one of these for travel games and activities, and then I had the deeper one for snacks, and also so it wasn't a bunch of different bags that got dirty. Like these, you just spray them out. They're amazing.
You clean them out just by spraying them out?
Yeah, you could spray them out.
Oh, yeah.
You could put them in the bathtub if you want.
At home. Don't do this on the trip.
Or at the hotel. Like if they got sludge in them.
It'll be mildewy.
No, then you dry it.
At the hotel?
What?
It's crazy.
This is plastic.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Clean it whenever you want.
So would you do this again, did you think?
Yeah. I was going to say, so asterisk. I think a good idea for kids, something that can be valuable the value of this is you can do it on trips and it's useful at home. You still have something stored and they stack. So you can stack 5 of these and it's going to be like this tall.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like, so like it would be with suitcases.
Right.
You can't put 5 suitcases in one suitcase. But these, you can put the same size box inside, and then you can put the little boxes inside the big box. So you've got all of them essentially in one little area. Yeah. You've got 12 suitcases. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to pull out.
Yeah.
I had suggested hard shell, for kids, having each kid have their own little hard shell carry-on that then they'll have a carry-on for when they take flights places or go on trips. In one hard shell carry-on suitcase, you can get enough clothes. I know. You can have enough clothes for a week or 2 if you pack reasonably.
Yeah.
And especially if they do laundry, which they do at Tanzania, so surely they do it everywhere else. So, and then they've got something that they can keep forever.
Yeah.
These things are great. These things are great because they serve a dual purpose. It's not, even if you want to store them, they're not taking up a lot of space. If you don't, you can use them. Mm-hmm. You can use them. And then if you're using one of these, big deal. Buy another one when it's time to go.
Yeah, right. Except probably by that time they'll have a different... You know how they release new versions?
Yeah.
So I hope that these stick around because these are probably my favorite storage boxes of all time.
Yeah. Of all time.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's hard to crack her top 5 of storage boxes. All time. So if you know Leslie, her storage box list is, yeah. That thing's been manicured, so heavily curated list. This list.
Heftily. Also a good thing is...
That was a good one.
Bed bugs. There are no way...
A good thing is bed bugs?
There's no way, you're going to have any little bed bugs crawl into any pockets of this because there aren't any pockets and it's plastic. Mm-hmm. Oh, and the other thing, once we were at the conference and we were packing to come home, I was able to put all the dirty clothes into one or 2 by that point. So I had a tub of clean clothes that when we came home I was just able to put up. It was just a good system. I would do it again. And then I was going to show some of the road trip stuff we got that the kids really liked.
Oh, yeah. So these were fun.
For their Easter baskets this year, we usually do a big Easter celebration the day after Easter and give them a basket, one big family basket.
Welcome to the new world.
Yeah, it's Jesus is risen.
He's making all things new.
Let's party.
And all things awesome.
Right. So, but this year we did, on Easter Sunday, they came home from church and I had it all set out on the table. It was like a road trip Easter basket. So we got these These are super fun. I had to get 2 packs of these because our family's big. But it's like an auto bingo game. They really enjoyed doing that. And so now I'm going to...
They did. They were... Now, some of them enjoyed it more than others.
Yeah.
Because the little kids, when they couldn't find an eagle...
Oh.
You know, they're like, I can't find an eagle.
Well, they kept saying eagle.
Papa, make an eagle.
It was a bird.
Like, I don't know.
It was like a bird. And
but the picture looked like an eagle.
Yeah.
So, and they can't read.
Right.
So Jack could. He just doesn't want to.
Yeah. So now I'm keeping these in this box in the attic for
What?
our next road trip. And I have a box of snacks up there.
Wow.
Not really.
Does the wisdom know no end?
Never ending. This is probably... I would buy these every time from now on. These water... Wow.
If you're going to stay close, I'm never going to be in focus. I just got focused. Oh, she's trying to... This is what she does in my life.
Whatever.
Like, she's like, put Chris in the back row. No, she's like...
I'm offended that we did this today because my hair is not clean.
Yeah, so I didn't know about these things, but they're fantastic.
Yeah, so it has a brush that's
like a pen.
Missing.
A pen that has a little water in it.
Yeah, it's like a little
and
paintbrush.
And it seals up.
And then they just... I'm sure most of you have seen these.
Yeah.
But you do water on it and it turns colors.
It turns the color it's supposed to be.
Yeah. It's a really
like
fun.
this cow will look like a brown and black cow or white and black. I mean, it's
with
crazy.
A red collar and
yeah, it's weird.
And they just loved it.
And then when it dries, does it do this or what?
It goes back.
Or do you have to erase it, or does it just when it dries?
It just dries.
When it dries, you don't have to erase it, people.
These are like $5 a piece, but I would do that over and over again.
Because the kids did it over and over again.
They did it so many times in the car and at the conference, and it's
because by the time they get all the way through it,
yeah. And like
guess what's happened to the first page? It's dry, ready to go again.
Yeah, and I thought, well, they'll do it one time and they'll be tired of it, but they...
Welcome to the Kingdom Outpost Shopping Network.
I know.
How much are you selling this for now, Leslie? How much is this going?
I do.
Can you believe that, people?
Now that you mention it, I do have an Amazon Associates account, but I don't know how to use it. So,
But we've got the account.
I'm going to try to, figure out how to do it, and I'll share links someday.
Yeah.
Then I got these Wiki sticks. Can you... I almost did it again.
Yeah, just quit touching it.
Wiki sticks.
I think, yeah.
For doodlers. So these are they do these.
How does one become a doodler?
they do these at Charleston's.
Because when I think doodle, I think like drawing, right?
Did you ever see the kids playing with these? Because you were driving.
Yeah.
Anyhow, yeah. What does that mean? Doodling. Anyway, it says stick doodle. Maybe you can draw with them. I don't know.
Oh, you can use them to doodle.
What do you mean?
Like, it's like 3D doodling. You know, a doodle is just like a blah, 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 blah. Just a little thing that you're drawing. Like, nothing elaborate. It's just a doodle.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what a doodle is. A doodle is, I'm just drawing, so like a stick person. You know, like my little stick people fighting wars with the tanks and the airplanes and the missiles and all. Like I did, those were doodles. So these essentially become doodles. Become like a little stick person.
Now they are sticky. They're like waxy sticky. So I just kept wet wipes on hand and wiped my fingers down. Yeah.
You have a little stick man's head and his arms.
Can...
Because they're waxy, they'll stick. So waxy's a problem, but it actually works.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. So this kept them busy too at the conference and on the road. And then this is probably the coolest activity book I've ever seen. Oh, if you're listening to this, I forgot to explain it with words if people aren't watching the video. This is Richard Scarry's Big Busy Sticker and Activity Book. It is probably the cutest activity book I've ever bought for my kids. Which is why I bought it, because the reviews stated as such.
So the first one was Bingo on the Go-Kart. The second one was the Melissa and Doug Water Wow. You mentioned the Wiki Doodles.
Wiki Doodle.
Wiki Sticks.
Wiki Sticks for doodlers.
And so this is that.
That's it. I don't regret any of those purchases. The activity book...
didn't know
about any of those purchases. The activity book was a little difficult because I was sitting in between two little boys and holding all their stickers and reading the instructions. So it got a little jarring at times, but it was still super fun. I think if you could do like one kid at a time or an older kid would be great, but
for the activity books?
Yeah. Super cute activity book. Super fun.
You're super
and then
fun.
I bought like a 8-pack packs of 8.
What? What? That was like 3 layers of pack. 8 packs of pack. They can't be right. What? Say it again.
8-pack. An
8-pack.
An 8-pack of
Of
8
8
crayon packs. 8 packets. 8
packs of 8-pack crayons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it came in like
8 packs of an 8-pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said, right?
No, exactly.
So I
no
had
need to
those,
rewind that video.
That was great because it was one, the little skinny box of 8 crayons, and those get lost in the car, and it's fine. And then you could just pull out, like at the conference, I had a new box for the kids to use.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of buying like a big pack of crayons and them getting...
Do you feel like crayons have degenerated?
Do you?
Our hands touched.
Do you feel like crayons have
Couldn't see that.
degenerated?
I feel like they break really easy now.
Maybe you didn't notice when you were a
Or
kid.
maybe I've become super strong because I do jujitsu.
I think that's
As my nose attests to, I don't do it very well. But yeah, I feel like they break. Like I go to color and it's like snap. I'm like, ah. So I don't know. I felt like they didn't snap
Maybe
as
you
much.
need to calm down.
No, I feel like it didn't snap as much. Like I'm very tender now with them, and they still snap.
Huh. Maybe. Well, what else hasn't degenerated?
Oh, preach it, preacher.
Probably 2020. That's when the crayons became brittle.
Mm-hmm. They got the clot shot. What?
No, you were gonna say. I think I almost shushed you. I
Oh,
clamped my hand
everybody
over
knows by now. Like we're not telling
Okay.
anybody anything they don't already know.
Well, it's been an hour and 2 minutes.
I think we should let them go. Mostly, I don't want to edit for that long.
Yeah. And we have to go. We're going to color eggs.
I'm going to mow.
Me and the kids are going to go color eggs belatedly.
Yeah. Welcome to the world of the patriarchy.
Right. It's hard to be a mom.
I'm gonna go color eggs. I'm gonna go mow. Patriarchy.
Yeah. I'm going to drink coffee, actually, while the
Yeah.
kids mow, or while the kids color
The
eggs.
kids, that's really what's going on. We're gonna sell portrait coffee.
All right. Well, how'd we do? We did
I
our
think it was
first
fun.
video.
This might be the only video we ever
Yeah.
do.
I feel pretty comfortable because I do Marco Polo all the time.
I don't do Marco Polo all the time. I do it every once
I
in a
would.
while.
You're fine though in front of a camera. I would have been like totally uncomfortable with this, but I see myself all the time now. So
Yeah.
thanks, Manoa and Amanda.
All right. Well, let's finish up the way we like to finish up.
Oh yeah.
Let's give a good benediction,
Okay.
and then you'll give a shout out, or do you want to do the shout out? And then we'll
Shout
do the
out.
benediction?
Shout out to Lindsay and Sarah, both
Oh yeah.
people who knew us from the internet
Mm-hmm.
that we saw at the conference and got to meet in person. for
Really
the first
sweet,
time.
great people.
So,
Oh, they were so
I won't
fun.
use their last names because I didn't ask for permission, but
Mm-hmm.
it's so
But we
fun.
jabbered about you. We jabbered about you.
It was so fun. It's so fun to meet other Christians
Mm-hmm.
and just be encouraged in your work that you're doing.
Yeah.
It was such a blessing.
Yeah.
So,
And they were really great.
yeah.
All right, let this benediction bless you guys. May the peace of, great comes from Colossians 3. May the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. May you be thankful. May the message of Christ dwell among you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wisdom through psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit, singing to God with gratitude in your hearts. And whatever you do, whether in word or deed, may you do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus. May you give thanks to God the Father through him. Amen and amen. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.